Greetings. In this video, I'll be exploring the central nervous system as well as its basic structures. Let's get started. The central nervous system. The central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. The main function of the central nervous system is to process information received through sensory systems and other parts of the body and activate appropriate actions in response. Moving on. The central nervous system communicates with the rest of the body by conveying messages to the peripheral nervous system through the spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system sends messages back throughout the spinal cord to the brain for processing. So to demonstrate, the brain sends messages down the spinal cord, and let's say it wants the leg to move, it'll send it down to the leg so it can move. If the leg gets hit, the leg will send a message up the peripheral nervous system to the spinal cord, up the spinal cord to the brain for processing to say, oh, you got hit. Everything you think, feel, and do is processed through the central nervous system, from eating a chocolate bar to digestion to sweating, all of it. As it comes with no surprise, the central nervous system is vital to our survival. We cannot live without it. Let's cover the two parts of the central nervous system, the brain and the spinal cord. The first division of the central nervous system is the brain. The brain is an intricate network of cells that have a vital role in processing information received through nerve pathways from the body. The brain also has the responsibility to direct responses. So here we can see the information is sent through the nerve pathways to the brain for processing, and then it directs responses back to the body. The brain has a role in almost everything we think, feel, and do, and is organized into many divisible identifiable areas with specialized functions. The brain itself is made up of the hindbrain, midbrain, and forebrain, as you can see in the here. 1, 2, 3. The three divisions of the brain. The hindbrain is the link between the spinal cord and the rest of the brain, and is involved in movement and balance. The midbrain coordinates movement, sleep, and arousal is awakeness, so it's the opposite of sleep. The forebrain is responsible for receiving and processing sensory information, and for high-order thinking and processes such as memory, language, and problem solving. And here we can see in the red is the forebrain, and the green is the midbrain, and the blue is the spinal cord and the hindbrain. An important note is the lobes of the brain, as well as the hindbrain, midbrain, and forebrain, are all further explored in different videos on this channel. If you want an in-depth explanation of each, I highly recommend you go visit those videos too. Moving on, the second division of the central nervous system is the spinal cord. The spinal cord. The spinal cord is a long, thin bundle of nerve tissue that extends from the base of the brain, which is here, to the lower back, so it goes all the way down. The spinal cord links the brain and the peripheral nervous system so the brain and the rest of the body can communicate. So the peripheral nervous system is all around here, and they send messages to the spinal cord, and the spinal cord transfers messages all the way up to the brain so it can process it. Continuing on the spinal cord, the upper section of the spinal cord is responsible for communication between the brain and upper parts of the body, and the lower section is responsible for communication between the brain and the lower parts of the body. And this allows for efficient communication between the body and the brain. So if you set up the arm, which is the higher half, it's going to go to the higher section of the spinal cord. But the lower half, like the legs, it's going to travel to the lower part of the spinal cord so it can go to the brain. It's just the quickest path to the brain. The spinal cord receives sensory information from the body, which is the peripheral nervous system. It sends these messages to the brain for processing. The spinal cord receives motor information from the brain and sends it to the relevant parts of the body to control muscles, glands, and internal organs. So for example, the skin might send sensory information to the spinal cord so it can be sent up to the brain for processing, while the brain sends information down the spinal cord to the relevant parts of the body so it can tell it what to do. So it might say, oh, arm, you should move to the left or right, or heart, you should keep on beating. Well, this marks the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more educational content. This was created by Simply Explained.